That one?
Voice check, 1, 2, 3. Okay, guys, sorry for the delay. It's 5:40, and we're going to be passing the mic as we've done in the past, so now we know how to do it. Call it to order. I believe that we have a quorum present. We're just missing Board Member Norton and Board Member Kagan. With that, I would like to ask if Audrey and Arabella would like to come up to do the Pledge of Allegiance. Guys, come on up. I'll give this mic to him. Come on up. Oh, does this work?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for that. Okay, the next on the agenda is the approval of the meeting minutes. Recreation Board minutes from May 12th, 2026. The minutes have been distributed in the agenda packet prior to the meeting for your review. Are there any corrections to the minutes? I don't see any. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes? I move to approve the minutes as written. Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Rand, and do we have a second? Okay. Commissioner Beach. Eventually I'll get to Board Member Beach versus Commissioner, but okay. It's been moved by Board Member Rand and seconded by Board Member Beach that we approve the minutes as written from the May 12, 2026 Recreation Board meeting. I'll now call for a vote. Hit the panel. I don't know how to do this. Raise your hand if you approve. 7-0. Sorry for the mic. Okay. Then we have the Recreation Board work session minutes from May 26th, 2026. The minutes have been distributed in the agenda packet prior to the meeting for your review. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I move to approve the minutes as written for the May 26th, 2026 Rec Board work session.
Thank you, Board Member Pedrojeda. Can I have a second?
I second.
Okay. Board Member Rand. It's been moved by Board Member Pedrojeda and seconded by Board Member Rand that we approve the minutes as written from the May 27th, 2026 Recreation Board work session meeting. I'll now call for a vote. Raise your hand. All in favor, 7-0, it passes. Now we have an association presentation for Ambush with Doug.
Good afternoon, Chairman Saha. It's the first time I've not said Chairman Mitchell in about 10 years, so yeah. Nice to have you on board. Yeah. I'm here representing Alpharetta Ambush, and I'll give a quick, I'll try 5 minutes, it'll probably be 10, update on how things have been. It's been since, I think, April, almost a year and 4 months ago since I've been here last, so a lot of the same as it usually is with us, which is a good thing. We have the field space that's allocated to us and keep that very active. And I'll get back to that in just a second. But I'll start off with, as I start off all of our internal meetings, with safety. And around the club, everything still remains in good shape there. We had a very, very good year in 25-26 with player injuries, things like that, record low number of concussions, very, very few injuries of anything more significant than that. And so we're very pleased with that. A lot of work goes into that with especially the coaching staff on the academy side. And they go through all of their annual first aid training. We're doing that right now, getting ready for the 26-27 season. And also the safe sport training that's required, the CDC concussion awareness program that's administered through all the governing bodies we play for and through the city of Alpharetta. And then background checks and CPR training is all about to be updated with the city of Alpharetta and all the organizations that we play under also. So all those things are in order. We have roughly each season around 80 to 90 coaches when you include the rec, and each and every one of those goes through the background check process, the safe sport process, and the CDC concussion awareness program. So it's quite an undertaking for some of our admin people, but we're very adamant that all of the coaches go through that and track it very carefully. The biggest change since I saw you guys last time is the Alpharetta Ambush Soccer Club has formed an alliance with one of our historic main competitors, Concord Fire, Concord Fire, and on the academy side of our program, we have become Concord Fire Alpharetta. On the rec side of the program, U8 Junior Academy side of the program, we remain Alpharetta Ambush Soccer Club. Also, behind the scenes, this is just an alliance agreement. It wasn't a formal or typical merger. Behind the scenes, Alpharetta Ambush Soccer Club still operates as an entity with our own EIN number, our own finances. We control and handle all of our internal finances. We are part of Concord Fire Alpharetta on the academy and the select side for those programs, for the leagues that they have access to, and that was our motivation going into this alliance agreement. Concord Fire's motivation was to establish a greater presence on the north side of Atlanta, bigger player pool access for them, and to grow their brand on the north side of Atlanta too. At the same time, we've maintained, of course, the Alpharetta Ambush Soccer Club rec program, and that has continued, and I'll talk about some numbers in a second, flourish and continue to grow at a very, very small but growth rate for last season and the season we're going into. Some of that helped by the brand Concord and players coming into our program to be part of that pathway and that pipeline. So that's gone well for us. We're about to start our second year of that agreement. As far as our staff, we've not changed anything. With all of those changes, there's still myself, who is basically the umbrella. We have one admin person. Some of you that have been involved with the club know the name Kim Konopka. She's a admin wizard. And we have a couple of guys who help us take care of field setup and things like that, and also game scheduling. And that's about it for our staff. And we've maintained that level of staffing through the last 14, 15 months since I saw you guys the last time. We're right at the beginning of our fall season right now. It's been a normal registration process and normal seasonal issues. U.S. Soccer, in their infinite wisdom, had changed the youth soccer birth year cutoff for soccer once again. They did this 8 years ago, you might remember, and it was a mess. It went much smoother this time. We did a lot of preliminary work, especially on the academy and select side. It went much smoother, and we've managed through that process. But other than that, the registration process has gone well. We had over 1,500 players in May over the 2 weeks of tryouts for academy and select, which was the largest number we've ever had. The two primary reasons for that: one, the brand name Concord; two, we continue to find ways to improve the information and pipeline from the rec program that we run into the academy for U8, the U8 Junior Academy program, transition into that program, and also into U9, 10, 11, and 12. Have a lot of players on our academy teams this year that in the spring or last fall were in our ambush program. So those two things have led to the growth in the tryout numbers. On the academy side, we formed 58 teams. Rec registration closes this Friday. Right now, we're trending again towards 65 to 70 teams, which is the normal number for the fall rec season. As part of registration, we've offered, I like to mention this, we've offered for the new year on the academy and the select side. As you guys probably are aware, it's not cheap to play youth travel sports, and soccer's no exceptions. We've offered and approved 28 different families financial aid to some degree for the fall season so that basically everyone can play. So with what we have here in Alpharetta, we do have something for everybody. We have rec soccer, which some of the kids in the very young ages can play for $150 a season. A uniform package that's about $35 or $40 that they can wear for multiple seasons. And then we have the academy and select, which we have some of the more competitive rates in our area, plus we offer financial aid. I bring that up because the World Cup's going on, and any of you have watched the U.S. kind of not do so well in their last few games, and you hear everybody say that the pay-for-play setup in youth soccer is the reason our national team is no good. I'll be glad to have lunch with you and give you the other sides of that story sometime if you're interested. But in most all the clubs here in Atlanta, anybody that wants to play usually can play. And we have our setup so that that's the case with rec, academy, junior academy, financial aid programs, and all those type things. And where a family may not even qualify for financial aid, we have the flexibility, and we do it quite often, to extend payment plans, spread payments out, make it more comfortable for families, do things so that anyone who truly wants to play, we can find a way for them to play. So as far as the size of the programs go, last fall, the rec program, we had 808 players in the rec program last fall. As of last night, we had 775 registered. Registration closes on Friday. We've got a wait list for some age groups right now that will pull those kids off of age groups where we can form full teams. And so we won't have any problem going beyond 808. We'll probably end up at a growth percentage of about 5 to 7% like we did last year, fall over fall, from 24 to 25. So the rec program is still strong in registration numbers. The academy, last year we had 875 players from U9 to U19 travel, if you want to call it that. Right now this year we have 903, so that's about a 4% increase also. We don't shoot for much more than that simply because of field space and other things. That's right in our wheelhouse to grow at about that rate. But even with the age group change and some of the other things we've done, a little bit of growth on the academy side too. So strong numbers for the club, and certainly compared to where we've been in the past, all these are record numbers, just up a bit from the year before. We run additional camps and summer training programs. We have 6 of those programs, mostly from January until we're finishing up the last 2 this week. We had over 800 players register for those 6 camps, and so those were very well attended again this year. Coming off of the operations and into capital expenditures, we really don't have any request of the city much anymore. We pretty much take care of if there's any goals, nets, or things at the field. The club pretty much picks up those expenses. If we do need anything of the city, everybody is great. We talk to the guys at the park or over here in the offices, and everybody certainly is good. If there's anything we could use, the two old proper-sized ice machines, both at North Park and Webbridge Park, are still not operational, and with those, it would be nice to have one or both of those replaced. And those have been out for quite some time. That's in my notes if you look back from the last time I was here. And then the upper field at Webbridge Park, a year and 3 months ago, that was replaced with the field turf up there. That's probably been the biggest game changer for our club that there's been. Up until that point, we had about a 60% cancellation rate on that field with practices and games. That's down to about 5% right now. Only if you're at home between 4:30 and 9 and there's lightning, those are the few instances where we have cancellations. That field is spectacular. I love the lower field. It's the older one. This December 12th, it'll be 9 years old. We've never had to have a repair on that field. We've never put another dime into it, except for the labor it takes to sweep it once every couple of weeks. And that product is fantastic. The city, the crew out there, the club, we've all taken care of it, and it's still in great shape considering it's 9 years old. So that product is very, very, very good for the high volume that it's used, both by the public and by our program. Facilities, I can't say enough about the guys at Webbridge Park. I always want to make sure that's on record. Nate and the crew there are just fantastic. We use North Park a lot around football schedule, of course, in the fall, and then it's a lot in the spring. And Chris and the guys out there always have it ready for when we go out. And with the turf fields, there's not a whole lot to get ready for on the soccer side, to be honest, but anytime there is something that needs to be done, both of those parks do just a fantastic job. At Innovation, we have taken a break for about 18 months on the stadium field to get it back in shape that it's could be usable for practice, but primarily for games. And it's in beautiful shape now, but it took about an 18-month break to get it back there. And that time period ends in 2 weeks when we start up with our fall season with the rec and the academy team. So it's going to be nice to be back on that field. We'll be using that field and the number 2, which is the old baseball field, where we have 2 smaller format fields back there set up. So that'll be nice. We're working with Eric and Christine on some improvements to the at North Park. There's 2 electrical panels out there that have been just a magnet for problems for the last 10 years from the general public. And without going into too much detail, the club found a contractor who can build a couple of concrete block rooms around those electrical panels at a very good price. The club's going to pick up half of that expense, and now that the new year's rolled around for the club and for the city, we'll be working on that also. And that's going to be a big improvement to North Park, and it will really help with the reliability of those fields when lights are needed once daylight saving time's in. So the club's happy to contribute to that project. It's one that's we've been talking about for a long time. Threats and challenges, we've had 2 things forever. One was leagues that we could not get into as ambush. We've taken care of that with this alliance agreement with Concord Fire. They are a top 5 in the country youth soccer club. Their boys program is ranked number 2 in the country right now. Their girls program is ranked about number 14 or 15 in the country right now. They are in all of the elite leagues with their teams. We have 4 of our teams at it's the Alpharetta branch, Concord Fire Alpharetta that it's called. We have 4 of our teams, legacy teams from when it was Alpharetta Ambush, now in the ECNL League, which is the elite league. We expect to have at least 2, maybe 3 more next year, and that'll continue to build as the years go along. But on the league side, we are now partners with them, and that has taken care of that part. Why is it a threat? We were losing players left and right. We were developing players from U9 to U12, and at U12 we were losing them to the surrounding clubs, AFU, UFA, NASA Top Hat, Concord, North in the past. And now there's been a significant shift in being able to retain those players. So that's been the elimination of one of our biggest threats. The other one, and I always bring it up right at the end, is ourselves. It's the city's residency policy. It's just a bad policy, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work for the kids in the community, whether it's our community or the Johns Creek community or the Milton community, and it's one that we hope every year on the soccer side. And I talk to the football and the softball and the baseball guys at Johns Creek, because they're right next to my neighborhood. It's one that we hope something will give at some point someday to make it a little bit easier for the kids to play with their friends and play with their neighbors and play close to home and be competitive and those type things. So that is really the biggest challenge we have right now at roster formation time is the residency policy and staying compliant with that. But as you know, Cheryl, and as you know, Chantel, We've been here a long time. We make it work, but as someone in the city once told me years and years ago, you got to break this thing so it'll get fixed. I'm not going to break soccer to fix it. I just hope at some point we can have a constructive conversation that leads to productive change. I'm an Alpharetta City resident. There should be a residency policy, 100%. There should be a different one. So I'll conclude with that, and any questions? That means I took much time. Thanks, thanks for
Much
listening.
your time.
Yep, good.
We're good to go, I guess.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Doug. Okay, on to staff presentations. The first one up is Community Agriculture and Sustainability.
Hello. Nice to see you all tonight. My report's very brief. I'm just really happy to share with you. Last time that we were together, I mentioned community meetings where we were talking about forming a plan to address food insecurity. And so we had our second meeting, and at that meeting, we decided to put together a program that kind of blends two of our existing programs, our Grow Row program and our Home Grower program. And so we kicked it off right there at that meeting, and we've launched what is called Homegrown Harvest. And so you saw it. Oh, great. That's our monthly community agriculture email that goes out. Oh, great. Oh, that means Deanna put that in there for us. That's wonderful. So this is our second food donation program that we have now. And the concept of this is we're not growing anymore. We don't have any more land to grow things that is city-owned property, but this is people growing in their backyard, identifying additional space in their backyard where they can grow for the food bank. So this is a partnership between the City of Alpharetta, North Fulton Community Charities Food Pantry, and the residents. And they are identifying how many square feet they can in their own backyards, and we are providing the seeds and the seedlings, the training, the tools, and the resources. And then they're using an app called Fresh Food Connect. And when that food is ready to be harvested in their backyards, they log it into the app, they take a picture of it, and the food pantry, similar to like if you were donating furniture, the food pantry says, yes, we can accept those 30 pounds of zucchini, or no, we already have 1,000 pounds of zucchini, we don't need it. And then that resident drops that food off themselves. So our program is like the kind of connector, as well as the educational and the resources to get more food to the food pantry, more fresh food, which is what they need more of. So I'm really, really proud of that. I'm really proud that we were able to come together with leaders from different parts of our community to solve a problem in just 2 meetings. I feel really proud about that. Yes, it's just on their phone as well, so they'll get like an alert that somebody wants to donate fresh food from Homegrown Harvest, and they will look at the picture of it and say, yes, we will. I'm sure they will always say, yes, we will accept. Yeah. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Amanda. Okay, next up is Cultural Services Division Monthly Report by Kim.
Let's see if I can get this moved without making too much noise here. Can you see it? Okay, great. Good evening. Wanted to jump right in with camps. As you know, it's busy for the entire department, but I wanted to share with Arts and Culture that we've had 3 locations that have been booked with camps, and we have the Art Center. 2 years ago, we started the Log Cabin, and this year we launched the Spotlight Community Stage. So some fun highlights. We have Magic Camp this week, and we'll have an end of show. We always have performances on Fridays, So if you're interested, you can come out, but they learn how to do magic. We've had rock band camp. Let's see, we had acting out there this year. So it's been kind of exciting. It's been a full summer with 3 locations. Juneteenth. Oh, I forgot to rotate here. Some of the kids showing activities. We've been very busy, but I love the liveliness. Like, we love that. Juneteenth, we have a great partnership every year. The AKAs come out and do a celebration. They had it planned outside, but this year they had to move inside. It was a rainy day. But it was a wonderful celebration, and we really appreciate their partnership. Restoring Lady Liberty. We brought in a very unique, I don't know, was anyone able to see the exhibit? You did? If you missed it, we did move it over, the 2 items over to the Art Center, and they're there on display. The picture here, the painting was painted on the White House lawn. Give a little history. It's kind of art meets history. It's one of my favorite things when both of those collide. And this was a Peter Max, painting. And this is the last one known in private collection. So I had to have. I surprised him on that. We had fun. We were trying to line up the Liberty, like her right here. But it was really a unique exhibit. This had been created, it was kind of like a Raiders of the Lost Ark, so to speak. It's what I've been given that analogy to, but it had been in a crate for 40 years and coming. The collector had it here, and they were finally ready to show it on loan. They had the maquette here that was given by there was a limited series created from the original terracotta from the Statue of Liberty. And so the mayor of France, I had this series done, I believe it was in the 80s. I'm not sure, I can't recall the exact date. But staff did a great job. Our gallery coordinator here, Amanda Shelnut, she did a wonderful job coordinating all this. We had Life, Liberty, and Happiness, and this is what we've kind of merged those 2 items into right now. If you did not see them, we had that reception. We had a great turnout. Our one-day workshops, and as Jit well knows, Commissioner, he participates in Bob Ross. You're kind of an expert on that right now, but please, if you're ever kind of leery about jumping into art, a one-day workshop is a great way to try it. Art from the Soul. We have our new open call, and it's to celebrate Hispanic and Latino experience. And so we have this call coming up. The deadline's July 22nd, and the exhibit dates will be in August through October. Riff Outdoor on Loan. We have our new sculptures coming in, but we're trying to keep these 4 sculptures here in Alpharetta. We have different partnerships with each sculpture. We have like the Alpha Loop Foundation will be contributing to one of the sculptures, the Big Sky. Some people reference it as a big jack, the kind you toss. But we've got some great partnerships, and I'll update you on how those turn out in the next month. Spotlight Community Stage. Wanted to highlight some of the shows. These are rentals that have occurred over June. We're getting a lot of, we have a live podcast. They were having like a debate on comedy and anime, and it's very active. They're pretty regular there. We have the Red Hat Society coming up. Bookings for, as of July 2026, we have 6 public events, 29 private events. For next year, we have 168 confirmed bookings. Now, a booking might be considered to be 20 days if it's a theater, like a show. So I wanted to kind of give you that perspective, but we're very busy, and we show this probably, 20 times a week we're showing the site. Eclectic Lawn, we have the new series coming up. I just want to remind you to have these dates on your calendar and pop out. And we will end with the Battle of the Bands. We had the first one last year. It was extremely successful, so we hope to have a good turnout. We've asked for applications, and we're starting to promote that with locals. Paint the Town will be in fall this year, and we're looking forward to how those turn out. When you're painting at a different time of the year, it'll kind of get those fall colors. It'll be a neat time. We haven't done it in the fall yet. We are doing it this year. We moved it from spring, well, I'll say Arts Alpharetta, it's their event. They moved it, and we partner on the event, but they moved it from spring to fall, just to bring some different paintings into the scope of things with the colors of fall. Matilda's, the Spotlight series. If you're familiar with Matilda's, she does an outside series, and it's spring through fall, and when it gets cold, she comes to the Spotlight. And so we're going to have a 4 series that will start in February and March. And that's the end. Any questions?
Anybody want the mic? I think in the budget review meeting you guys had at the workshop, one of the questions was on the community stage revenues. I think Morgan said he's going to get back to us. Is this something you guys have for tonight, or is this a different night,
I do not have that today, but I can get
another night?
to you.
Okay,
Be happy to.
thank you. Appreciate it, Kim. Thank you so much. Next up is Recreation Services Division Monthly Report. Ed Lindsay.
No cookies today, I'm sorry. I know, we've been a little busy this month. So if you're at the Adult Activity Center, we have new lights going in right now over the pickleball and tennis courts. And then hopefully in the next week to mid-August, the parking lot will be done over there as well. So that's the new update with them. Like Kim said, we're doing a lot of partnerships right now. We're actually having the Adult Activity Center partner with the art team, and on July 31st, we'll host a line dance showcase at Spotlight, so please come out to that. And then on August 1st, we're gonna have 55 and up art on display in the community room. So that's a nice little addition, so all our active adults will be able to participate in that program. So our athletics team has been very busy this summer as well. We have new shade structures going in over at the tennis courts at Wills Park. We offered a basketball camp next week with, I think when I looked last, it was over 15 kids enrolled in that program, so that was a nice addition for us to have that. Triple Crown tournament starts on Thursday. And they're offering a new self-defense program. So their first self-defense class had 14 women in it. So that was a nice turnout, and they all had rave reviews about the program. If you've been to the pool this summer, the Sharks finished their season on June with 203 swimmers. We hosted a Heroes Day in June that had a great turnout from our fire department, judging dives and flips into the water. And they've seen an increase in our senior participations for the water aerobics program. And then Alan, who is our new coordinator over health and wellness, he's been busy updating our website to make it more user-friendly and to make it look like it's seamlessly involved into the city's website. So that's a new addition. If you go out to our city website, click on health and wellness, you'll feel like you're still a part of the city's page. So, and then our lovely community center group, they've been very busy. We've served over 2,530 kids so far as of today in the summer camp programs. That's City of Alpharetta run camps and our independent contractors. Will probably hit over 3,000 by the time summer ends officially in mid-August for us. So they've been very busy, going on a lot of field trips and serving all the little kids of the community. We have an exceptional event. It's our events for special needs populations. We have one this Thursday where it's a rock band program. So the lady came in to do our summer camp program, and we partnered with her to do one more event where we'll have all these families come in. The kids will be able to sing and basically karaoke in a nice environment for all our special needs populations, regardless of their age. And then on October 17th, save your date for Boo Bash. We'll be back at the Grove, our new and improved Grove. The sidewalk's almost done, I think. Almost. We're getting close to that finish line. So Boo Bash will be back out there from 3 to 7 on the 17th. And then there's a tiny department, you might have heard of them, the special events they might have been busy a little bit July 3rd and 4th with the record-breaking numbers of our concert and drone show that was here, and then the fireworks the next night. So Lindsay and her crew have been rocking it this summer. Started off with a watch party that also had a huge crowd, per the pictures. And so they're busy working it and getting it now ready for Wire and Wood, which Sarah mentioned today. It has a really good lineup, so check it out. Her calendar's already booked for those days. But the team's been busy. There's some concerts this weekend, Home by Dark, the Food Truck Alley, and Moonlight Market, and the City Concert Series on Friday the 24th. So stay in Alpharetta and stay busy, guys. There's no reason not to, so thank you. Any questions?
Thank you. Any questions?
These are, first the ones are construction. So should I just wait for Christine? Okay, wait for Christine. Okay, so then that's the other, so those are two construction projects at North Park. So the other one I wanted to ask you, I didn't know that we contracted camps. What did we contract this year? I'm just curious.
Yeah. So Wills Park, Camp Happy Hearts are the city-run camps. But gymnastics, dance, soccer, swim, pickleball, golf, thank you. I'm like, golf, cheer, those are all done with our contractors, instructors that we have, so to offer those programs.
That's different than like going, like I think one year we did stand-up paddleboard down on the river, where we went to the Chattahoochee Nature, or to the...
That was a contracted camp as well, but we did not pursue that relationship again this year, or in the
Okay.
last few years, so.
Okay. And then the Home by Dark, we haven't heard, normally Morgan talks a lot about that, so I was wondering, is it not been as popular this year, or are we just not?
No, it's been popular.
Have they been over at the other, Union Hill? Okay,
As far as I know, they've been very popular. I have not attended one yet, I'm not gonna, but they've been very popular, so.
so they
I've-
sorted out the parking? There was that whole issue with the parking at the, should I wait for Morgan? Never mind, I'll wait for Morgan.
I will
No,
share
no,
the
no.
stage with Morgan.
Okay.
I'm just
Okay, so there's another question. So Home by Dark is still very popular. Okay, I guess it's so popular that we haven't been talking about it, to be honest with you. But James Casto with Home by Dark is still doing the same number of concerts he's always done back here in Brook Street Park. Now, this year, because of rain and the threat of rain, he has had to move 2 of his concerts to Union Hill, because we don't allow anything back on Brook Street, no matter what the concert event is. If it's raining or has rained the day before, we won't allow them to use Brook Street Park. So we kind of make them go to Union Hill. So he's had to do that twice. But he's also rented Union Hill Park, I guess, 7 to 8 times for ticketed concerts. So those concerts are doing real well. Brook Street's, the Home by Dark's doing real well. And I apologize for not talking about them, but there's so much other new stuff that we've.
What did they sort out about the parking? Because I remember parking was critical. Have you made an arrangement with the guy next door?
Absolutely. We have a written agreement with AK Teco that owns the property next door, and we've actually put in a set of stairs from their property to ours to make it easier to get there. And so we just let them know when a concert's coming, and they allow us to use their parking for special events there, for not just a Home by Dark, but any of the special events we do there. So that's been a big help. Yeah.
The skateboarders making noise and being disruptive still?
Well, the skate park is still there. So what James Casto with Home by Dark has found out doing, he rents a big panel truck that he moves the equipment around. So he just parks that truck between the event venue and the skateboarders, and it kind of did away with the problem. So we're not having that issue as we speak. Yeah. So that was James just thinking outside the box of how do you solve a problem before it gets out of hand, and he did. All right, sorry.
No, you're fine. And I apologize, I've been talking more about what the team, the Parks and Rec staff has been doing, because our events team, they've been busy on their own with not just our partnered events, so. I'll bring cookies next time.
Just want to share that I went to July 3rd event and it was fantastic. You guys are too popular. That place, everyone is excited about going. The show was great, the music was great, and I hope you guys do it again.
We'll see.
Thank you, Lindsay. All right, Parks and Service Division is up next with Eric.
Hello, everybody. So I haven't been here in the last couple of months. Of course, we had meeting canceled, but I was on vacation and things like that, so here I am tonight, not on vacation. Anyway, all parks, you know, we're in our new fiscal year budget, and, you know, the guys are gathering quotes, making purchase order requisitions, you know, for operating maintenance needs and replacements, netting, you know, new concrete, things like that, picnic tables, just everything, you know. Webbridge Trail renovation has begun. Well, it's actually not only begun, they finished it last week, so that's complete. North Park concession stand, the rebuild is well underway. It's about 95% complete, and, you know, aside from a few punch-out items, you know, we're gonna be done, you know, hopefully tomorrow. You know, the Triple Crown's coming in this weekend, but there's a few things, like there's some exterior lights on the building that are on back order and things like that, but it's not gonna affect what's going on this weekend at the park. We have filled 2 open positions. One was the Greenway supervisor, Tyler Edmonston, and Tyler was a crew leader over at Webb Ridge, and then Josh Hayes took Tyler's place. So both of those promotions were within the organization, which is always a good thing. We're now in the process of interviewing for the full-time open position at Webb Ridge, which we actually filled that this week. But we have another vacant position over at North Park, which we're looking to fill. We're still working to address some of the erosion issues within the North Winds section of the Alpha Loop. Mulch has been installed. We're going to be adding some rock check dams and things like that, because that section over there just past Atlee, you know, where the water gets through, we're going to have all kinds of check dams there. It's going to be rock just on the side of the trail to keep the trail from, you know, washing out. Downtown continues to support and set up breakdown all downtown and Brook Street Park events. You know, that's what we do. These guys are out here every weekend working, and they're doing a great job. I mean, you know, supporting all these events. So everything's good.
That's awesome when you can't even tell that something's happened because you guys clean up so well.
Say again?
You guys clean up so well after every event. It's like nothing was there.
Oh, yeah, no,
awesome.
they do a great job. Yep.
Questions?
So Doug was mentioning that innovation was out for a year or 18 months. What happened and how did you fix it? What?
Nothing. Doug just started to give the field a break. I mean, you know, you keep people off the field, and, you know, just it gives that field recovery time, and really that's all it was. And then you had the additional field over at Webb Ridge, so they scheduled that more. But just to preserve that field, you know, Doug, that was on, you know.
That was their choice. Okay.
That was Doug's choice to you know, to just
Okay.
give that.
So now so now you guys are feeling like it's in pretty good shape?
Yeah, it's in great shape, yeah. I mean, even Field 2 over there is in great shape.
Do you keep the football guys off of it, or do the football guys go there?
Yeah, I mean, you know, rugby gets out there occasionally, but they're staying on the lower field. But really, to be honest with you, you know, we've had, you know, field renovation signs out, even though we're not really, you know, renovating it, but they're out there. And, yeah, no, people, believe it or not, they've been respectful and off the field, so it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that was Doug just scheduling
That was Doug's
everywhere.
Eric, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, and last up is Park Services Division.
Hello,
Hi.
I'm Matt tonight. He's on vacation, having fun.
Okay, I was wondering.
I'll just go ahead and briefly go over his report here. We mentioned the spine already in Wills Park. That is getting very, very close to being done. The last part of it that they did it from the parking lot of the ball fields between 5 to 8 and worked their way up to that center part by the OFL behind the community center. And then they did the one side by the dog park, and that was already finished. And now they just started tearing up everything on the other side of the community center today. So they're doing the other half of it, and we're getting very, very close to being done. Very exciting. Did they get they're going to do the tennis court down towards the tennis courts after that, or is that finished? They're going to do that afterwards. Okay. All right. So they still have one little section to do after that. So. And the West Gateway, the foundation is there. I don't know if you've driven past Wills Road in Old Milton. It's very exciting that is there, and that is going to be completed by the end of August. Is that correct, Morgan, I believe? End of August? Yep. And then they'll start on the other one, the east one. The Equestrian Center, Arena 2, has been graded, and the footing contractors started with the fencing and the underlayment of the arena. And then on Arena 4, they've taken down the fence and they've started prepping that for renovation once they finish with the other one. So they're going to be working their way over there and starting on 4. And last but not least here, July 4th celebration, as Lindsay mentioned, it was great in the park. It was packed from what I understand, and great fireworks, and everybody seemed to have a fantastic time out there. The special event team, I had to give a shout out to them. They're just amazing every single time. And when we mentioned that they were very busy on the 3rd and the 4th, they really were. That was a weekend for them. But they pulled it off, and fantastic events for the community. So that's all I have for Matt. Any questions for me or Matt? No? No? Okay.
I know you mentioned the West Gate. What's the plan for the East Gate?
The East Gate is going to start, when are we starting the East Gate? August, and then slated to be done by the end of October? End of August. Okay, month. There you go. So you'll be seeing those 2 gateways by the end of summer. It's exciting.
Is there any chance that they can open, has construction been settled enough that they can open the trail so that people don't have to walk along Wills Road anymore? Or is that not going to reopen until all of the construction there at the arenas is done?
The trail has been open. It was only closed for a short period of time back there during, there was a Boy Scout camp going on.
No, I'm talking about like from the community garden around.
We're going to have to wait till construction's done in there.
All finished? Okay.
Yeah, it's a construction zone. We can't let people walk through there, unfortunately, for their safety.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll get there, we promise. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Christine. Director Rogers.
Thank you very much. As always, it's a pleasure to be with you here tonight. So I'm going to go over a few things. I got a list here of things I want to make sure, and I've been checking them off, so I'm not going to repeat anything that's already been taught. I will tell you that the dog park in Wills Park is open. So the August the 26th is the date that they're shooting for. That's the target date to finish Wills Park proper, not the equestrian part. That's like October. But August, end of August is when they're trying to finish with everything on this side of the creek and then finish up the equestrian center by mid to late October. So we should be back in business by then completely. We have Field 5. If you've been in Wills Park lately, you notice that Field 5 has been torn up, where we're actually turfing that field. That project is ahead of schedule and on budget, so we're really excited about that. The group that is doing has been the same group that we've done all our other turf fields. So we're really excited about that particular project. That's going to hopefully be done by the end of July. So now we'll move on to North Park. The lights, the new lights at the quad have been replaced. All of the wood poles are now gone out of the quad, the ones that the woodpeckers attacked. So we're glad to see those. We had a little ceremony as they were leaving the park. So all the nice concrete poles are, as well as the LED lighting on the quad is up. So we're really excited about that. And now that we're in the new budget year, we getting ready to do an RFP for all of the wooden poles and all of the old light fixtures in Wills Park. So we're going to get rid of all the wood poles at Wills Park as well as the LEDs in Wills Park next round. So we're excited about that, starting hopefully here in the next couple of months. The parking lot at the adult activity center at North Park is scheduled to start on July the 20th. That's where we're going to be putting in some real, true handicap accessible parking in front of the building and completely repaving the parking lot to make it more user-friendly for our participants. Old Rucker construction will begin this month. As they're pulling out of Wills Park, they'll be going, the company ICANN will be going to Old Rucker. Union Hill will begin in late October because that crew will be leaving the Equestrian Center, heading to Union Hill to do that work there. The farmhouse project, which is on Old Milton, just past 400 on the left. We have a pre-construction meeting tomorrow morning on site with that company. So I think by the end of July, you'll see some fence going up there and some progress being made on that. Access is the real issue for them because everything they do, they have to come off of Old Milton Parkway. So they have to, they're going to be taking up part of the lane some of the time and moving their equipment in. So just keep an eye on that when you're going that way. If you haven't been by the Encore Gateway Park, which is where the Encore Road meets North Point Parkway, that park is coming along fine. You can now see where the overlook's going to be, as well as the outer loop where you're going to be able to see it and where it goes down to the Greenway. That whole project from North Point Parkway all the way to the Greenway is scheduled to be done the first quarter of next year. But if you want to go by and see what it looks like, you can actually see the piers now. You can see that walkway. It's going to be one of the iconic locations in Alpharetta. To update you on the council, we had a couple of items on the agenda last night for council, a couple of workshops. There's going to be some new artwork that Ken was talking about, as well as a banner art program along Kimball Bridge will be coming soon. We also had the first reading of a change of the ordinance to allow alcohol at the Art Center. That was really an oversight when we did the original ordinance. We've always thought that for rentals at the Art Center, it's okay to have alcohol at those, assuming they get their pouring license and meet all of the requirements. So that was first reading was last night, and the next reading is on the 20th. But that's just for the Art Center being added to the ordinance. And the bike share program is going to be on the July 20th agenda. So we're excited about moving that. Basically, that's taking the Zaxby's program, changing the name to Tandem, and bringing that back with 5 stations where you can rent a bike, first hour for free, $2.50 for every half hour after that. So we're excited about that project. Once we get approval from Mayor and Council, which we expect on the 20th, about a 10-week period that it's going to take to get those bikes in place and get them going. That's all that I have right now that I can think of, and I'll be glad to answer any questions you may have.
Morgan, Alpha Loop, when will the section that's adjacent to Wills Park be complete?
the Alpha Loop in front of Wills Park on Rawls Road is completed.
It is?
It is
Okay.
completed.
Okay, thank you for that update. And you mentioned Union Hill and transferring there in late October. This was a part of my questions. Will that include part of that playground from the bond?
Yes, it will. It'll include the skate park out by the road. So the little area by the road, that's where a brand-new skate park is going, where they're skating now, the old hockey rink, that playground with the two guitars is going in there. A complete redo of the parking lot, and we're actually turning the parking lot from angling it this way to it doing this way. It creates a better flow, and we're picking up about 8 spaces there, and it redoes the drainage around the building so that when it's raining, you won't have water coming across as we have now. So we're going to catch all that water and move it around the end. Now, I have to look over at Commissioner Rand. A few trees have to come out that should not have been allowed to grow on a hillside over a structure. Those are going to have to come out, and so there'll be some of that that'll come out so that we can stabilize that bank and make sure that it doesn't fall.
And of course, Cheryl, and I'll speak for you. My last question about Union Hill, the drainage of the actual rain or shine structure, is that a part of all of that scope?
Yes, it is. Yeah, the redo of the gutters. We've already fixed the roof, but we're going to redo the gutters and make sure that all the water that is collected in those gutters goes to the right place. Doesn't come across the play-in area, if you will.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the continued work there and update. And then this July 3rd and 4th celebration was absolutely epic. And I know it's been mentioned a couple times, all the hard work, all the innovative thinking, so much fun for our city. I am curious of some learnings, trying something new for the very first time. And I'll just underscore how awesome it was. Just curious of some learnings as you do consider future, whether it's drone or anything new that you try. Just curious about some of the takeaways from that epic event on July 3rd.
Well, the biggest takeaway is that we did not anticipate that record number of people that came. I think, well, I hate to throw out a number, but I've heard between 35 and 40,000. That's what, when I was having a coffee with the police chief, that's the number that he quoted me this morning. And the real problem was we've never had those kind of numbers before. We thought we had a lot of people at the tree lighting, and we learned things at the tree lighting, and we thought we had put those in place. But what we didn't anticipate is Highway 9. When we put barricades up along Highway 9 on both sides of the road to force folks down to cross at Milton Avenue in a cluster rather than not a cluster of people, rather than coming across and hitting the Hawk every time. What we didn't anticipate is that citizens would pick those barricades up right before the drone show from where they were and put them in the street, closing the road effectively. We did not anticipate that. The police did not anticipate that. So there was just so many people that, and I probably shouldn't tell this, but I'm going to, is that I actually got a phone call from the police chief at about 8:45 to 8:50 and said, Morgan, can y'all put out on social media that if you're not here now, don't come? Because the police chief was worried that if something happened, they weren't going to be able to respond because they couldn't get to wherever it was happening. So we've learned, I think the biggest lesson, though, is to make sure that we look at the event, and we actually have a debriefing with everybody involved. I think it's tomorrow morning. But the thing about it is that was the perfect storm. It was a Friday, a holiday weekend, so people didn't have to go to work on Saturday. It was a 250th birthday. We had made a big deal out of it. And I think World Cup had just excited everybody to get out and do something. So I think it was the perfect storm. And so we just had such a large crowd. And we didn't anticipate that. I think we had anticipated a large crowd, but not anything like we had. Because if you were at the drone show, we know we were about 30 minutes late shooting the drone show because we had to have everybody off of Park Plaza. And people were standing in the street, and the guys are shooting the drones or piloting the drone said, if they're in the road, we're not shooting it. So we were trying to push people back, but it was like pushing people back, but there was nowhere to go. It's one of those things, if you push things down hard enough, they come out sideways, right? So that's what people were just coming out sideways. So that's why we were late, is it took just a gallant effort, particularly on the police as well as our staff, to get those people on the sidewalk so that we could shoot the drone. So the other thing we learned is you never have enough bathrooms. Okay, there was never enough bathrooms, and that was the big takeaway. But I think that's the message that we learned, is that we just need to respond earlier to that large crowd. We probably should have put out a notice, if you're not here, don't come, 30 minutes to 45 minutes earlier than we did. But how do you tell people not to come? That's a difficult thing. And when you don't have any way of ticketing that event, you just don't know who's going to come. So, but it didn't. That event doesn't scare us to the point where we're not going to do other events. We're just going to make sure that we have some safeguards in there, and we're going to rely more on our public safety, our police and our fire friends to give us, how do we do that? What trips us saying, okay, no, you can't, stopping you at the parking deck over on the other side of town and say, no, you can't go over here, you can only go here. So I don't know what that looks like. I'm just making that up, so I'm not saying that's what we're going to do, but you're welcome. That would be, Percy, that would depend a lot on the event. One of the reasons we had the big issue was that it was a drone event. It was the first time anywhere around here. And one of the issues were you can only see it if you were too close. If you were too close to structures, you couldn't see the drone show. I think and it was such a condensed event. Like Taste of Alpharetta is a 4 to 5 hour event, so people are spread out. This was basically a 2-hour event. So I think that's one of the things we're going to have to get to, is that, what is our magic number, and then how do we stop that magic number once we get to it? So I would say, Taste of Alpharetta, we've always said has been 20 to 25,000. And I think that's pretty much getting close to the capacity for city to provide services that we expect. Yeah. I don't know. I just don't know. And so, yeah. Somewhere, but I really don't know. I know that probably up and down streets, probably in neighborhoods. I don't know. Yep. Mm-hmm. So on Highway 9, just park. I think a couple of people got trapped on Highway 9 when the citizens decided to move the barricades. So it's I think there was some parking on Highway 9. So trash. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, number one, it's not just me, but the city of Alpharetta doesn't like trash in its general. And it was, I will tell you, of all of the events I've seen, it was the trashiest. Okay, sorry. But our staff, when the farmers market came here on Saturday morning, the place was ready for them. And that's again, particularly to our special events team and our parks team, that was a gallant effort. They were here till about 2 or 2:30 in the morning, pick up all the trash. But to a lot of people, the trash cans were full. We couldn't, at one point in time, close to 8 o'clock, we couldn't get in to service those trash cans. We couldn't physically get through the crowd to pick up the trash, because you got to have a little bit of a wide berth if you're carrying a 55-gallon trash bag full of trash. Most of it's liquid, half of it's liquid. And if you ever are drinking a drink and you throw it away, pour out the liquid before you put it in the trash can. Would you please? Would you do that for me? I don't care where you are, you're helping somebody. Yeah, don't pour it on the concrete, yeah.
So I have something completely different.
Okay.
First off, the study on the rates, there was supposed to be a study about how much we charge for things?
Yes. Mhm.
Has that been finished? Has that been started?
No. We are working with a company called Gold Medal Incorporated that is helping us with that. Right now, that company is collecting all the data. They have our data, but they're getting data from benchmark cities around Georgia. Most of them around Georgia, but when you have to compare Equestrian Center and like the farm, you have to move outside of Metro Atlanta. So they're collecting that data from those benchmarks, and we'll be bringing that forward. I don't know what that time schedule is, Cheryl, but it is still in place, and this is the group that will see that first. Staff will see it, and this group will see it, but we'll probably do that in a workshop fashion when it gets there. I'm hoping by, this is July, I'm hoping by October, November, we'll be bringing that forward to you.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
It's just taken them a little bit longer to get that benchmark information than I think they thought.
Okay.
Okay.
And then North Park parking lot. Has the plan changed, or are you still putting spaces in next to the art center and spaces along the wall?
Yes. No, the plans have not changed. Those trees that have decks on them are coming down.
Okay, and
Big
because
X
there's
on 'em.
parking lot, because the parking lot's going there. You're not just taking them out just for decoration?
No, that's where the majority of the accessible parking is going in right there.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're not going out in vain. We're not just doing it for looks. We need that space.
Right.
Because it's got the right, we can get the right angle for them
Okay.
to get to the building.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry, Tate, where did you park exactly?
No, people were parking in my neighborhood.
Got it. Okay.
Well, because innovation was full. Yeah, the IA was full, so they were parking in our neighborhood, right next to it, and then walking out to town to see the drone show.
Got it. All right, on the agenda, next up is public comment. I don't see anyone that wants to speak, do they? Okay. Then rec board reports. I wanted to discuss the Youth Association liaison roles, but other than that, you guys want to talk about anything else before that? No? All right. So I would like to go from that side down on your experiences with your liaison. So I think you had, in April, you had Ambush. You can just say PAX. And then
I have not had a chance to schedule that yet, so on to Cheryl.
I am assigned to the youth softball, and yeah, it was on a voting day and I didn't make it. So Christine and I have to reschedule that.
I'm going to carry on with the theme. AYBA, and we're working on scheduling it. I'm planning to go to the August meeting. They had a meeting last night that got rescheduled that I was not able to attend.
I participated in the North Atlanta Football League meeting. I was introduced to it, and that was the objective, to support them. It was more introductory, and in learning who ran it, and they're getting ready for the season. So I think there was 300 kids signed up for it, different ages, different grades, and so on. So it was good. I was impressed.
Thank you. And that will just be adjournment. Have a motion to adjourn. Rand, Board Member Rand, and a second. Fine. Okay. Raise your hand if you wish to adjourn the meeting. 1 no and all yeses. There was no exception button. This is 6-1. All right, thank you very much, y'all.